It's okay to get messy. How many of you out there get so excited when your little kids come and ask you, hey, can we paint? Yeah, raise your hand because I do too. Not so thrilled sometimes because we like things clean and neat and organized. But I just want to let you know that it's okay to allow your kids to get messy. And actually, it's very important. So, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. My name is Mariah Gage. I am a mom of 7 beautiful children. I am an experienced homeschool mother for the past 7 years of 7 kids, grade kindergarten through 12th grade. I am president of Learn and Create Incorporated, owner and creator of Crafty School Crates, and president of Central Valley Homeschool Conventions here in Fresno. So why is it so important to allow your children to get messy? The number one reason that I will always tell any of my clients, my customers, my friends, is when your child has the opportunity to get their hands involved, it develops a further love for learning. Getting your hands in an activity does something in your child that stimulates a lot of different emotions and reactions that allow them to really grasp what they're doing and get excited. It deepens the love that they have for learning, and it is amazing. I've experienced this with my own children, and I am so excited to share this with you. They get more engaged. When they're working with their hands, your children will be so much more engaged in what they're learning about. If it's history and they're building a recreation of, the city of Pompeii and the volcano that erupted all around it, they are going to be engaged and excited to learn more about that historical moment. Their minds will get stimulated. My daughter here, we did a whole marine life science unit, and she was so excited. Actually, most of my kids were, with the artwork that they created. Their minds were stimulated and they wanted to keep creating and keep learning more, diving into the books that we have around the marine life that we had. They have a greater desire to learn. They were going online and pulling up more facts about different things that they had created. So it's so fun to see a stingray here, and then they were able to go to the zoo and see the stingray there, and then pull up some more facts. So it really does immerse them in learning, and it makes them more excited, again, furthering that love for learning. Now, that goes right into, it creates an appetite to learn more. So after we did our marine life unit study, my kids, we were coming up with an activity for an ocean box that we send out monthly with our seasonal crates. And so this is how we do it. We kind of went into our warehouse and we pulled some things off the shelf, and I'm like, okay, here are some items, and I would like you just to make a beach scene. Have some fun with that. And so as you can see here, you've got 3 completely different aspects of what the beach scene looks like in their mind. And this took them hours. I was so excited of how much they wanted to just create more and more. And then when they came and showed me every little detail, the little bananas on the banana tree, the little man, with his little soda can, she said, laying on his hammock out there in the beach area. And we've got the ocean and the tide waves over here, the tide pools. It's incredible to see their appetite to learn more and more as they're able to create. So I encourage opportunities to be able to allow your children to create, even if it may seem a little messy. It is so worth it. It changes the way that they learn, and it is amazing. I continue to use that word amazing, but it is truly amazing to watch their minds. This was done by a 12-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So you can see they're vastly different, and they're so unique in every way. And like I said, they were so proud and so excited about the time that they spent. You can notice the water kind of crystallizes back in the back. They literally took so much time with the paint to make sure that they can get it exactly how they wanted it. And that appetite to learn more is exactly what continues that love for learning. They learn more by doing. Students retain 20% of materials while engaging in listening activities. So as I'm sitting here talking to you, you may only retain 20% of this. But if your hands were busy and I had given you an activity, if we were live and I had given you something to do while I was talking about this, you would then gain 75% more knowledge just by getting in and doing something. So that right there tells us that having your children's hands and getting in and practicing what they're doing, it really does deepen their understanding and their knowledge. And I again will repeat this over and over again. My child, who really struggles with reading, loves doing activities. He is just, it's so fun to watch him be able to express himself through the things that he does with his hands. When you do any kind of creativity or artwork, you are developing critical thinking skills. These skills help increase as a child makes decisions on the outcome of their project. So as you can see here, this was done when we did our astronomy unit. And again, I did this through ages K all the way through 8th. We did everybody one time. It's easier for our family to do science that way. And so the outcome is going to be vastly different in each child's artwork. And you can tell they had to think this one through. They had to really think, okay, the solar system, you know, which planet goes where and how is it in space to the other one, and the size and the proportions. So this really does help artwork, and crafts and hands-on activities really do help develop the critical thinking skills that are so important in your child's life. We use them every single day. So this is a great jumping point to get their minds going and working in that direction. Hands-on activities, they are a multi-sensory approach. So as you can see here, this is one of our insect science crates, and we are using all types of sensory opportunities right here. We use our hands, we are touching, we're painting, we are feeling different things. We are gluing down tissue paper, the feel of the tissue paper. We use our feet, we're painting our feet. I mean, this is, you can't get much more than sensory than that. I know one of my children did it. They didn't like the paint on their feet, the cold. So, you know, the touch, again, the same thing. We're touching the paint on the feet. The foam, the styrofoam, you know, they're touching the different texture and they're painting that. All of those things work together to increase their senses as they're working throughout their projects. The smell of paint, the smell of glue, my children don't really, some of them don't like it. So it's interesting to see, again, as they're working, what senses they're able to use. And the sound of styrofoam drives me crazy. It does not do well with my multiple sclerosis. I cannot handle it. But that is something, again, that they're able to physically touch and feel and smell to be able to create something. And look how amazing those are. Those were done by my children, and I love it. It's just so neat to see how you can use so many different approaches and hands-on experiences to be able to create something so beautiful that they can be so proud of. Now, hands-on activities, the number one thing that is so important when your child is little is to strengthen their fine motor skills. I've had 2 children go through occupational therapy due to the fact that they have very, very weak fine motor skills. And so these activities and projects, just doing any kinds of hands-on things, will help strengthen that. It is so important. It's not just about pencil writing and pencil grip. It's really about those fine motor skills really are they need to be strengthened as they grow and as they develop. And this, you know, this is perfect. Hands-on activities are perfect for that. Longer attention span. So if you can see here, this was one of our human body science activities. My older son had created the brain and the heart out of clay. Now, as you can imagine, that took a lot of time. That was not something that he can just whip out like he normally would. And that right there shows that when you're invested and your hands are busy, you can actually be more in that time to be able to create something in a lot more detail. So I think that's just an amazing thing. Your children are excited and engaged when they're working with their hands. As you can see here, we love kinetic sand and, you know, obviously different kinds of paints, but when you're working with different modalities and different type of materials, your children can really get to explore and do more things with their hands. And so these are perfect for them. Just having them get hands-on, they get excited about what they're doing. My daughter's reading about dinosaurs. We did a whole complete dinosaur unit. She was able to hand on and paint and clay and sculpt, and there was so much that she was able to do, and that really brought that unit to life for her. So again, hands-on activities help get your children excited and engaged about what they're doing. They feel a sense of empowerment. My older children as well. So children become more empowered in their learning when they feel successful, and when they see creations that they've done, they really do feel successful and then empowered. And it's great. It's amazing to see what they can come up with and then what they continue to learn about. Do you know how many discussions we've had on politics lately because my children have been doing more US history crafts and Constitution and things that we've been coming up with for our future boxes, and they've gained an interest in that, and that's exactly what we're talking about. They're becoming empowered, they're becoming excited, they're really, again, fostering that deep love of learning that is so critical for every child. The best part about all of our hands-on activities is that your children don't even realize that they are learning. So whether it be something from my company or whether it be something that you do on your own, just know that it's so important that your children are creating those moments with their hands so that they can get the whole experience and that they can learn and actually grow and develop without even realizing it. That is the best part of this. They're having fun. And if your kids are having fun, they're not going to complain. They're going to keep wanting to do it more and more. And the more they do, the more invested they are in learning and the more empowerment they feel. It's just a great cycle. And all of those things really do strengthen that love for learning that is so important. If you have any questions about our product, about our crates, about just hands-on activities, please go ahead and reach out to me. My contact information is here. I do weekly homeschool tips on my Instagram and Facebook at Crafty School Crates. So go ahead and check that out. And again, I welcome you to email me any questions that you may have, and I'd be happy to help. Have a great day.